Roger Christofferson here again with another first listen review, and going to do a little bit something different with my babbling today. I've done it occasionally, and that's do a review on a band that I have never listened to and never had any albums of. This is the first one I've ever gotten from the band Opeth, and it was called The Last Will and Testament. And I know it may seem surprising to some people that I've really never owned anything by them, because you'll understand in a little bit that this holds a lot of the stuff I love about music in it. The thing about the reason I guess that I've never listened to them is because early on I heard them way back when they were first a newer band, and I'm just not a fan of that style of vocal, the death vocal. I just never reached out and grabbed me. It's just not something that I listen to. And so I always had that in my head. Over the, I know they changed styles like a few years ago, like quite a few years ago, and I've heard a few things here, bits and pieces. I actually just saw something a few months ago. They did a performance at Red Rocks, and I just kind of caught my eye, and I watched a little bit of that, and I thought, all right, this isn't exactly what I thought it was. So when I saw this was coming out, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna give this a first listen. So this is coming from somebody who is not familiar with the band at all. So if you came here looking for somebody to babble about, compared to what they have done to the newest, it's not going to be the type of review. This is like first time listen, never listened to these guys before. So I'll start there, but I will get into it by saying, holy crap, if the rest of their stuff was like this, I've been missing out. So it's a kind of a strange, I guess it's a concept album, which I didn't know when I first got it. And the titles of the songs are almost all like this double S and then a number for each individual song. I'm not sure what the double S means. I guess I didn't look into it that much, but it doesn't really matter. The songs are cool. So that's what I guess is the main thing. Also, it's got, I didn't know this when I first listened to it. I kind of just put it in, started listening to it, and then kind of read into it afterwards. It's got Joy Tempest from Europe, guest vocalist on this one. And I've always loved the band Europe. Big surprise, I know. And it's got Ian Anderson playing flute on it. I remember listening to this going, man, there's some cool flute stuff on there. It gives me like a heavier Jethro Tull vibe. And then I looked and saw that it was Ian Anderson. So that was some really good stuff that I enjoyed about that. As far as the storyline goes, I listened to this a couple times through. I didn't really pick up on what the storyline is, but I did notice that there's a lot of different vocal stylings on this, and apparently the reason for that is he's doing different characters in the story. And so there are some death vocal parts in here, whatever you want to call them, harsh vocals, I don't care, whatever, the harsher vocals. And it didn't seem out of place. It actually worked with what the music was doing, and they don't like long segments or the whole song. Starts out a little bit mellow, gets kind of progressive, very progressive actually, and heavier in some of the middle sections, but it's hard to define, so maybe that's why I've never checked these guys out before. It's very hard to define. It has a lot of elements of 70s prog and even fusion, and I never listened to a lot of fusion music before. I've been getting into that more lately. So bands, in that style came up. Also, stuff I've just been recently, in the past maybe 5 years, discovering like Camel and Gentle Giant had like elements of that in there as well. That style, 70s progressive stuff, and I thought it was actually blended very well. The singing on it, the singing on it was very. The melodies were actually very engaging, which I wasn't expecting in this style of music. So I found that to be something that actually drew me in quite a bit. So I was very impressed with that. As far as how it just ebbs and flows, it was very smooth transitions, even though it's going from very like folky sometimes and mellow. Actually has some choir, like this a cappella choir in here in a couple spots. It's amazing how it changes so fast, and it actually didn't feel jarring. It felt like it actually flowed that way, like it was actually telling a story. So musically, did that job very well. Lyrically, like I said, I wasn't paying that close attention what the lyrics were, but I'm sure that that was the reasoning for all that. Like it starts out, there's a few, the guttural stuff going on in there, and then like as for The middle there's definitely some stuff where there's some actually really gorgeous orchestration going on. I don't know how else to explain it. It's very somber feeling, but you have this angelic orchestration and like major harmonies going on in the middle of all this chaos. It's actually amazing how it all fits together there. And you know, there's a little quirky folk type stuff going on in the middle, some spoken word stuff in the middle as well. And there's not like, you know, a lot of prog music, you get these epic solos and stuff going on like that. Everybody kind of like knows their place and intertwines with each other very well. So that being said, I also wanted to point out that even though it's like very, you know, chaotic, but it gels well, the last song, I think it's the only one that actually had a title. Anyway, look again here, see what that one was called. I don't even remember what the name of the Story Never Told. That one had the most, musically and vocally, the melody kind of like echoed each other, and it was so like memorable that a couple hours even after I was done listening to this, it was still bowling around my head. I'm like humming that melody in my head. So that was a cool little thing. So definitely a good way to end an album on the very memorable part, because it makes you kind of want to go back and listen to it again. So what this actually did for me was make me want to go check out more Opeth. So if that's a goal that you know, anybody getting into this band, or has been a fan of this band I should say, wants to get somebody else to listen to, that, you know, goal accomplished. So anyway, you know, any Opeth fans out there, if you think I'm forgetting stuff or there's stuff you want to mention, this is the place. Feel free. Comment as always. Let me know, you know, anybody else who hasn't really checked this band out, what other albums we should be, you know, checking out. And as always, like, share, and subscribe to keep this music alive, because quite honestly, I'm going to dive back into their catalog. Feel like I've been missing out a little bit, so definitely want to hear some more stuff from these guys. So anyway, until next time, we will see ya.